crooked. It's good, y'all. Once again, we are back to begin another month. You made it this far. Hopefully we can put in 30 more. We complete another month. The month of May. We've finished a third of this year already. We have put in 33.3% of this year already. And it's been a hell of a campaign, I tell you. So I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be amongst the living. We've lost so many people due to this pandemic, due to natural causes, just due to. So peace and love to everybody out there that's lost a loved one throughout this time, through natural or, viral circumstances. Death is hard. Death is very hard. So attention. I'm not sure that says Facebook user, so I'm not sure exactly who you are, but I appreciate you checking in early. I am going to be speaking about the village today, the immediate village. Being from Michigan, there's a lot going on in Michigan right now. And I'm going to touch on some things that I might have said some stuff about earlier this week or in weeks past. But then, there's some new stuff that I haven't heard anybody else talking about. And like I said, I'm not one of these huge podcasting, broadcasting heavyweights. I mean, I know what goes where and why. And I've got more broadcast experience than most. But I know where my platform is. So I know the message only goes so far this direction. It only goes so far in this direction. So far in this direction. It never goes down. Don't worry about that. It'll never go down. But it's unfortunate that everybody is really not on the conscious tip. I'm not telling everybody to get woke and be woke and stay woke, because that don't mean shit no more. Now that they done took our word and did something else with it, we don't need to use the word woke no more. We just need to be conscious of what's going on. And if we are conscious and we are focused and we get unified, we'll be good. But we got problems out here. And we got problems amongst ourselves. I mean, everybody is on Tim Scott right now, and I'm on Tim Scott too. But goddamn it, we got a lot more Tim Scotts out here than we know. And we got to get them Tim Scotts up out the paint. We got to get them Tim Scotts up out the paint. That's why I exist. That's why the Black Watch exists. That's why the Village Voice exists. Because we've got to bring truth to power. If we don't bring truth to power, we ain't doing shit out here. We can have fun and games. I love having fun. I love playing games. I love doing all that shit. But where we are right now, we are in a specific setting that is trying to cast us out after making us a bottom cast. They don't even want us to be the bottom cast no more. They trying to eviscerate us. I don't use that word a lot, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of us. And if you don't understand that, then you really don't even need to be listening. I don't have time to talk about things that they're just right in front of you. As a Black American right now, you are on alert. It doesn't matter. They killing young boys. They killing young girls. They killing young men. They killing young women. They killing old men. They killing old women. The sister that they just snatched out the car, 68-year-old librarian, snatched her by her hair. She is of no, threat to nobody. Snatched her out of her car. So as a Black American, if you're not on point right now, I don't need to be fucking with you. And if you are not a Black American and you pay attention to this content, I would hope you go share it with some of your friends so you make sure that they know what the fuck's going on, because it might not be in your neighborhood. It might not be on your landscape every day. But when I bring it for everybody, but I'm focusing on my people because I got to focus on my people. I'm going to jump right to it because we don't need a whole lot of fodder, but I got some things that we need to talk about. In this state right now, we got some things happening. This is my grandson. I got to answer this. Sorry. Uh-oh. He hung up. Did you just hang up on me?
I meant to call my mom, but I pressed the button on you.
Is it my face on there? You don't see my face? They don't have my face? Okay, I'm gonna put a picture on there so you know it's me.
No, it had your face on.
Oh, it's got my face on there? And you trying to say I look like your mom now?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I pressed the button with you and me on it, and then I was calling you, but me and my mom were sticking our tongues out because our tongues were blue and red.
Okay. All right.
And that wasn't our picture.
That wasn't a picture. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna come by a little bit later and bring some stuff for you. Okay.
Okay.
Stick your tongue in there, man. All right. I will. I'll see you in a little bit. Well, I might not be able to see you. I'll just have to look at you through the door, through the window. Okay. Bye, lizard face. See you later. Bye. Love you. You can't say I love you with your tongue sticking out. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, boy, you're a mess. Why are you a mess? Why are you a mess, huh?
I don't know.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Cold Wolf, one love. And hopefully you understand the things that I bring, Cold Wolf. I don't know exactly if you've been on the cast, if you've checked me out before, but I appreciate you coming onto the Hap Space and checking me out. Anybody in the Hap Space, please subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. And drop those coins in there when they award you with those coins. And also check out other content on the Hap Space because there's some enlightening information throughout in all different types of platforms. But where I'm at right now, man, I'm seeing all this stuff go on in my state. And I want to start right here at home because I had said something earlier that there needs to be a new investigation into the murder of R. Rosser. And it's only right because they know the circumstances were shady when it happened. And I just don't believe she had enough people pulling for her. And much respect to the people who were out in the street campaigning, protesting, and doing what they needed to do. But we know so much more now. And I think this case needs fresh eyes on it. And I know that they have oversight committees and things like that, but we need that. Whether it's going to be Washtenaw County, whether it's going to be Ann Arbor, whether they bring special people in to do it. Ara Rosser, she deserves justice. Her family deserves justice. And we need to do that. We need to start that here. And I know that Mayor Christopher Taylor is hiding behind, all the shit that came after it. But see, he can't hide forever. He can't hide forever. And the city council, they try to act like they don't know what's going on, and some of them are new and they weren't around. It's okay. The people who were in the space then and still are around now, they know. The ones who were in the space then and not around now, they'll come forward because they know the shit was all wrong too. But we need to look at this as a collective. If they can kill a black woman in her home, posing no imminent threat to anybody in Ann Arbor, Michigan, why wouldn't you think they'd be able to do it in these other territories? Ann Arbor, Michigan has about 7,500 black people in it out of 115,000. But they were able to pick out a black woman in her home and kill her. You go to these other areas where they're more densely populated with black people, yeah, the odds raise a little bit. We still shouldn't be getting killed at the numbers we get killed at by police, but it's rare here. And as rare as it was, the situation just never needed to happen. And since then, that police officer has been promoted to sergeant. How does that happen? I mean, I'm not even sure how he still has a badge, let alone be promoted to sergeant. So it is what it is. We need to get on that. And I'll do everything in my space to be able to get on to it. Because politics is the only way that we're going to get out of this shit. It's not about just doing for self. I love doing for self. I love do for selfers. But do for selfers got to get it in their mind that politics keeps you moving or will stop you from doing for self. That'll keep you doing for self or it will stop you from doing for self. And we need to have a political mindset out here as Black Americans, as Americans, period. But I appreciate anybody who drops into Half Space, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're catching it from, Twitter, Periscope. Somebody told me that my Periscope, it wasn't coming through. So I've got to find out exactly if that's a regular thing or not. And I'll do that after this cast. I should have did it before, but I had some other things going. Something else that is happening in our village. By now, people that are in Michigan, they know about the state representative, Jewel Jones, who was stopped, who was inebriated. I don't know if it was just alcohol, if it was alcohol, but yeah, it was alcohol because they did say blew twice the legal limit and all that. I don't know how people get that drunk where they blow twice the legal limit, or is the legal limit that low? I don't know. But anyway, it seems like every time they stop somebody, they're twice the legal limit. That's crazy to me. Know when to say when. I have no problem with people drinking liquor. I don't really drink liquor anymore like that. But I have no problem with people drinking liquor. But know when to say when. And if you're going to drink like that, don't drive. You got Uber, you got Lyft, you got friends. You a state representative. Why was Jewel even driving? That's my biggest question. Like, what made you think you were good to get behind the wheel? And what's he, 26? He ain't even no vet in the game. He ain't a vet in the political game. He ain't even a vet in the game of life. What made him think that he could drive like that at 26? But then we go past that. Then you have a companion in the car. And obviously they were fornicating because both their pants was down. So what made you think he was good enough to do that? Then you had a pistol in the car and it was in the cup holder. And if you fornicating, what you doing with a pistol in the car with a gun in the cup holder? I mean, you're showing off, you doing whatever. And, you know, the biggest part of this is that license plate. Elected. I ain't got nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with personalized license plates. Personalized license plates are good. But when you get a personalized license plate that says elected, you've got a big light shining right down on you. Elected. And it's the type of vehicle that you generally see politicians in, a big GM SUV, especially around here. That's what they all drive. If they're not being driven in them, that's what they're driving. So somebody knew somebody was in that car. That's why the guy started filming, because he knew somebody of some type of importance was in that car. And when he started filming and he called the police, it was on. And if you got any type of sense at all, as a young black man, as a young black woman, why would you think that that's going to be okay or that's going to end up okay? He wasn't even driving on the road. He was driving on the shoulder at the same rate of speed that everybody else was driving on the road. You know you can't drive on that bumpy shit on the shoulder. Young Jewel needs to be schooled. Hey, Sue, got the sisters in here. You have to know. You have to know that if you're driving on the side of the road and you got them little ridges, dude, I need to get back on the street. But he drove like that for miles. That just lets me know how far gone he was. And whatever else they was into, fondling each other and twirling his pistol on his finger. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. But I believe his political career is going to take a huge tailspin. He's still going about his business every day, still doing all his jobs and everything like ain't shit happened. I get it. You want to make this go away, man. You want to make this go away. And it might have been able to go away if it had been something like this, you know, and it was an error in judgment and you stop and you do your thing. But after the takedown, after his passenger having to go to the hospital, after the jailhouse conversations, and I told you, the white supremacist part of all this is all this shit happened in a few hours span. They could have gave us the whole video right when he got stopped. But what they're doing is they're spoon feeding us. They're spoon feeding us the information to make sure this story goes as long as they want it to. They don't want this to go and pass. They want to show us exactly what happens when politicians get in office that are black. That's why they're doing it. That's the only reason. There's no other reason for them to continue dragging this out. This ain't news. This ain't fresh news. And they keep saying new video has surfaced. There ain't new video has surfaced. They're spoon feeding you. Just like they're spoon feeding black Americans their death in America, they're spoon feeding us the news. The white supremacist narrated news. It's what it is. Him saying that Big Gretch is the homie and having that recorded, that is the worst soundbite ever. I've never liked the term Big Gretch. I thought it was falsely given because I didn't think that she had really did that much for us. For her to be given the buffs, you know, they gave her those Cartier glasses, some dumb shit, some coon ass shit. Gave her some Cartier glasses, not knowing she can't accept gifts over a certain dollar amount, and those are valued at a certain dollar amount, whether they worth that certain dollar amount. So she donated them. She didn't try to keep them, of course. She donated them. But that was some dumb shit anyway, for somebody to collect monies to go get some goddamn Cartier glasses for the governor. I don't give a fuck if she was black. But then she became Big Gretch. I don't think that she would like the connotation, because I don't even know if she knows where Big Gretch comes from. Did they tell her that Big Gretch comes from Big Meech? A notorious drug lord who's doing life in prison? That's what her nickname. Did they tell her that? Did they tell her Big Gretch is from Big Meech? I don't think so. So she's the Don of Michigan. Stupid shit. Him getting up there talking that Big Gretchen's the homie shit. And she hears this. They're like, oh, she already knows. She's called. And that motherfucker looked up and said, what? She called? The state police had already talked to Big Gretch. Jewel. She probably caught it on one of the state police's monitors that protects her. Like, why are they following Jewel? Big Gretch didn't ride over to the state police post and pull your ass up out of jail, did she? Jewel. I mean, who are his handlers right now? Who is guiding this youngin'? He needs somebody at least twice his age putting money in his ear. And when I talk about money, I ain't talking about dollars. I'm talking about nuggets. I'm talking about wisdom. I'm talking about that ism. Ain't nobody trying to talk to that young man? 26, trying to fly right. Well, it looked like he was trying to fly right. But I think he done got the bit of the bug. I think he done got them cameras and them microphones all twisted up, and he thinks they love him. And the cameras and the microphones do love you. Until you do something wrong. Then they're your worst enemy. Jewel. Brother Bobby Ferguson is home. Salute to that brother. Being able to be reunited to his wife and his kids. I mean, they put him in jail. They tried to make him die in jail. He had 21 coming. Kwame had 28 coming. It was bullshit. There ain't no way. No way. Hey, if that brother ever wanted to sit across the table from me, I could tell him some things. He'd never, ever make those mistakes again. He'd never make those mistakes again. He doesn't understand what type of stain he has put on his name as a black politician. See, politicians, it's different. But when you're a black politician, you are treated differently. And your consequences are different. But didn't we try to put him in space free? We tried to get him on the Black Watch. He snubbed us. I guess he was too busy drinking brown liquor and wearing Cartier glasses on them other podcasts we seen him on. That's how we like, well, he do stuff like this. Oh, let's invite him on. Let's talk about politics. I was talking to a lot of politicians at the time. But he snubbed me. And since he snubbed me, here we are. Here we are. He might have not made that mistake if he had that interview, and I believe it was February we tried to get him in. If he had came on in February, he wouldn't have made the mistake in April. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I know who that is. That's Brother Richard. It's what we need. So my brain, I feed the hemp weed. But yeah, Brother Bobby's home. And hopefully that brother can pick up, get out here, start doing for himself. Cause I mean he was a man's man out here, you know. Had his own business, you know, had his own infrastructure out here, you know. And I'm not commending him for any things that he might have did on the transgressive side, but he had big business going. So whatever he can regain, recover, renew, whatever, I need him to be able to do that, you know. It's really quiet on the Kilpatrick front, but I believe Kwame Kilpatrick's gonna come back strong. These brothers are not gonna go off and be quiet about things. I think they got to get a lot of things lined up legally because they're going to be asked to talk about what they went through and what they've gone through and paid handsomely for it, and rightfully so. Somebody wants that Kwame Kilpatrick story. Somebody wants that Bobby Ferguson story. And what he knows in the contracting game, he should be a consultant to somebody and be able to earn nicely. So peace and love to that brother coming home. Now it goes to a point where it's this again type shit. I don't have like segments where I call them different things, and maybe we'll get to that point where, we're like this again. Like I got a segment coming up where I'm going to be speaking to some law enforcement folks. And it's just going to be simply called Ask a Cop. Because I got some questions I need to ask some cops. And I'm going to ask some law enforcement from patrolmen all the way up to chief of police. Has Brian Cox called you back free? He ain't hit me back yet. I know you worked and got his phone number. He better start answering. You don't want me to show up downtown and start knocking on his door with a mask on. Donald Trump playing golf is some funny shit to me. I always laugh when I watch him play golf. And Rudy, he's still trying to pick up picture frames and shit after they raided his house. They busted up in Rudy's shit and took all the computers. Anything that had a plug on it, they took it from Rudy's house. Whoa! God damn. We all just go. It's not a fucking standoff. You're wrong, you asshole. You were wrong. I ain't gonna say nothing. It was almost a head-on collision. One person driving on the wrong side of the street, the other person driving on the right side of the street, probably faster than they needed to, and they almost hit each other, and then they just gave each other the eyes. I'm sitting here looking at it. Shit. I would have sided with the van. The car was wrong because he was on the wrong side of the road. Even though the van was going a little faster than he should have been, I would have sided with the van. I've been like Michael Evans on Good Times when he said, I just got $5. They're like, where you get $5? $5 was a lot of money on Good Times. Michael said, the guy in the car gave me $2 to say that the guy in the truck did it. The guy in the truck did it, gave me $3 to say the guy in the car did it. Florida said, did you see the accident? Michael said, nope. That shit was funny as hell. Michael was a hustler. He took the money from the $2 guy, he took the money from the $3 guy. And he didn't see shit. Didn't see shit. But I saw that. So yeah. East Lansing Public Schools, our state capital, the leader of our state. It's where the government is. They don't like black people. They trying to minimize black children. The crazy thing about this is it's not just this story. This shit happened 10 years ago with the same teacher. And they just now are putting him on administrative leave. putting him on administrative leave now after his second incident. Social studies teacher Matt Christians. Hell of a name for a devil. Oh yeah, he's a devil. Matt Christians thought it would be a good idea for his 8th grade social studies students to do a project and discuss, let me get it right, I don't want to say it wrong, what it was like to be a slave. Because I got to get the other thing right. I didn't want to cross the two things. This is an assignment for 8th grade students. Now, everybody in East Lansing ain't black. Everybody in East Lansing ain't black. So he took it upon himself to hand oppression to black kids and have them go back in their mind and think about what it was like for their ancestors who were enslaved. But then you give that assignment to white kids who have no idea what it would be like to be enslaved, no matter how far back in their family history they went. Now, they might be able to envision what it would be like to be an enslaver, but not an enslaved. So at that point, you have now divided the classroom. Because you're going to have the black kids trying to figure out what their great, great, great grandmother and grandfather went through. And then you're going to have the white kids trying to figure out, how can I make a mockery of this shit? Because you can't think thoroughly for something that you've never done spiritually. I mean, white kids have no idea and can't even come close to having it be fathomable about what it would be like to be a slave. But every single black American can. You dig deep enough. So you're going to take that assignment home. You don't know, as an 8th grader, you don't know. So you're going to take that assignment home and you're going to ask your mama. You're going to ask your daddy. You're going to ask your grandma. You're going to ask your grandfather, what was it like for them back then? Because none of them were slaves. They're descendants of slavery too. But when that white kid takes that assignment home and sits down at the dinner table and says, Mom and Dad, we got an assignment in school. It's, what was it like to be a slave? Have a good day. I'm not sure exactly who that was, because it just came back through Facebook user. It might have been Brother Richard. I just don't know how you do that as an educator. How you put a child in a space of inferiority and expect them to come out with a prosperous assignment. I don't get it. I'm not understanding it. But that black child that took that assignment home, her mama got in their ass. She got in ELPS's ass, East Lansing Public Schools' ass, all the way up to the superintendent. So they put him on leave. And then that's when the bullshit started. Y'all know I ain't no journalist now. Y'all know I'm not just reporting on the, y'all can see this on M Live. Y'all can read about all this on M Live. You don't need me for this. What I'm looking for is the real effects of it. I'm looking for the white supremacy of it. So we don't let this happen again. But back in 2012, the devil, Matt Christians, had done an assignment similar to this. With no repercussions, no administrative leave with or without pay, no discipline at all. He did this assignment called The Positive Aspects of Slavery. The positive aspects of slavery. He gave that assignment out to all of his children, black and white, and I'm sure they have some other ethnicities in that class or classes. He teaches 8th grade social studies, so he's got 5, 6 classes. And he gives them all the same assignments. Positive aspects of slavery. Positive for who, Matthew? You motherfucking devil. What positive aspects would a person who was enslaved have to give you? Because you're asking them as if they were the slave. You don't say, go home and ask your mama and go home and ask your daddy to discuss. You're asking an 8th grade child to tell you what the positive aspects of slavery were. You know how confusing that is? For an 8th grade child, what are you, 13, 14 in 8th grade? Now somebody wants you to tell them, what do you think about slavery and what were the positive things that came out of it? Because he said he was going to choose either positive or negative, but they chose positive, thankfully. Because if you talk about the negative aspects of slavery, we'd be here all fucking day. Seeing you're talking about the positive aspects of slavery, class is over now. The positive aspect of slavery was fucking 1865. That was the positive part of slavery. When the motherfucking shit ended. You bitch ass punk. Now, in 2012, the NAACP of East Lansing was notified about this. And guess what they did? Guess what the NAACP did when this happened in 2012? Not a motherfucking thing. See, I tell you, as long as you got an organization that ends with colored people, until they change that, I don't think we'll ever get anything real out of the NAACP. You got a couple strong chapters here and there. And that's usually conscious motherfuckers that have made it to the top of one of those infrastructures. But for the most part, NAACP ain't nothing but some coon-ass motherfuckers. They don't do shit for black people, but take their money and waste their time and give them image awards once a year. Fuck out of here. Yeah, they were notified about the thing in 2012. And they didn't push for Matthew Christians to be terminated. And they didn't push for him to be suspended. And they didn't push for any type of curriculum about African-American heritage should be ran all the way up to the superintendent every single time, just for its sensitivity levels or lack thereof. They didn't push for that. The NAACP ain't shit. Motherfuckers always want to dance for the cameras. Where the results at, motherfuckers? The foundation of the NAACP is no more. It's just a coffer. And they collected so much money off of Black Death over the last 7 years. Their NAACP legal fund is bursting at the seams, and they ain't representing no motherfucking body. It's right here in East Lansing, Michigan. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the mitten. It's all about the mitten. So yeah, he's on administrative leave, and they're only dealing with him on this 2021 thing. They ain't dealing with him on the 2012 thing, because that was able to be swept up under the rug, totally forgotten about with the NAACP. Nobody ever lit a match under their ass. And speaking of lighting matches and lighting fires and shit, big up to the brothers and sisters in New Era, Detroit. Y'all doing your shit out there. I see you in the state. I see you outside the state. Y'all doing your thing. Somebody asked me if they was like Black Panthers. I'm like, no, they're not like Black Panthers. And I said it for many, many, many reasons. Not to slight them anyway as if they're not collected like Black Panthers. But see, every time we get a situation, it gets infiltrated and gets compromised. The Black Panthers, the strongest Black organization in this country, was infiltrated. I don't want to see New Era Detroit infiltrated. I don't want to see New Era Detroit compromised. Them brothers and sisters are out there doing real work. And they got a financial mindset. And they got an educational mindset. And they got a political mindset. And y'all need to work with them or leave them the fuck alone. Stop asking questions. Either you jump in with them or stay the fuck on the porch. We got too many 1 foot in, 1 foot out motherfuckers in the collective. Either you're in or you're out. So yeah, you got Jim Crow. You got KKK. You got oppression in East Lansing Public Schools. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. This is our home. I don't even know who Matt Christians is, and I'll do a little digging on him. I want to find out his roots. I want to find out if he actually grew up in a community here in the state of Michigan. Is he from the state of Michigan? Because if he's from the state of Michigan and he still breeds that type of fucking hate, we got a lot more work on our hands than we thought. But if he's an infiltrator, if he came from another state, and we allowed that hate to penetrate the state of Michigan and to dwell here, he's been a teacher at that school at least 10 years because he's been spewing hate since 2012. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 10 years. It's our state capital. And we've got, so that's happening in our state capital. If he's able to do unapologetic, bigoted shit like that in our state capital, actually that's racist because there's a lot of power behind that. You're affecting a child's ability to learn. So that goes above bigotry. That's above standard bigotry. That's racism. That's hate. Why don't y'all talk to Big Gretch about it? Big Gretch will handle it, right? Big Gretch is the homie. So says Jewel. Families. I know a lot of us out here work in retail, big box retail, your Walmarts, your Targets, your Myers, your Krogers, in the state. And right here in our state, we actually have one locally, right in Canton, Michigan, that they've chosen as a model to change over a Walmart. Garland's people never got back to you, Free. Are we still on? I know they're a little busy. They're a little busy with the Rona. I get it. But we need to talk to Brother Garland. And Brother Garland is about education. So I hope Brother Garland's gonna have a hand in this internal investigation. Walmart is taking it upon themselves to cancel out more human jobs. What they're doing right now is they're putting in more self-checkout lanes, putting in more inventory, and getting rid of more people. They're getting rid of more people. See, I don't mind them putting in more self-checkout lanes because the community is growing. But I also know that putting in more self-checkout lanes means that you're not going to need as many cashiers. And if you have more inventory, that doesn't dictate you needing more cashiers. That just dictates you needing more space. And they said they took out a ton of checkout lanes and put in more self-checkout lanes, and the other space was for more inventory. Had nothing to do with any type of human workspace that they're adding. This is where we're at. We are in a position right now if we don't get technical. These young kids now got to get into coding, computer programming, anything that has to do with IT work. Because that's where this world is going. This world is going to automation. We are no longer a manual world. We are going to automation. And your hands will be good for so much. But your fingertips got to be able to work that computer. And we got to talk coding, computer programming, computer repair, design, and figure out all the things that we do manually, how we could do them in an automated state, because that's where this world is going. And if you're not pushing your children to be all up on a computer, I'm not talking about a video game, I'm talking about a computer, I don't know what you're doing. And I'm talking to learn too. I just ain't talking about being on fucking Snapchat and TikTok and all that shit. I'm talking about getting on that motherfucker and learning. But the one thing that Black Americans as a collective around the United States fail to have is adequate internet access. If Joe Biden wants to start out doing something for Black Americans, make sure every Black American household has internet access. Broadband, high-speed internet. We need that. Because everything goes off of internet. And I know some people are going to misuse it, and they just going to use it for play, but that's okay. You can lead horses to water. You can lead them to water. But I need to be led to the water. Lead me to the water, and then I'll worry about the rest. I'll worry about getting them other horses that don't want to drink. I'll let them know they're going to languish. They're going to starve to death. You become dehydrated, then you get sick, and then you die. So just give us the water and let us worry about getting our people there. I know that people live in such a defeatist mode nowadays They live in a defeatist mode simply because they ain't never seen us win. A lot of black people ain't never seen wins in Black America. Gains are not wins. See, a lot of our elders that have died off saw some wins, but we've not seen wins in this generation. We've seen some gains, and we've just volleyed back and forth. Once again, peace to everybody in the half space, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're checking this out at. I appreciate you. The governor updated us on the results and stuff that's happening, and the restrictions. And I guess as our vaccination numbers raise, the restrictions will lower in the state. So she's doing it. And I think she said by the time we're 70% fully vaccinated as a state, then we can start dropping, if I'm not mistaken, mask. And 30% is still 30%. I mean, I'm not a big gambler. And I know gamblers would take 70% odds to win way more than I would, but I'm not a big gambler. I wouldn't take 70% odds to win. I need my odds to be like 85%. Maybe 90. I hate losing. I hate losing. Especially when I didn't have to play. And see, that's what's going to happen. Fully vaccinated folks will be out here thinking they good, and they're going to be amongst the 30%. You can still catch it. It just might not make you as sick because you're vaccinated, but you can still catch it, and you can still push it to somebody else. She said it, though. She said 70%. I'm pretty sure masks come down at 70%. I don't know how to feel about that. I think I'm going to be out here wearing a mask maybe a little bit longer than other folks. And I'm good with that. Certain people, they say they just can't get this shit, shouldn't get this shit. I'm a fat motherfucker. Fat motherfucker shouldn't get this shit. I don't have a whole lot of problems and shit. I ain't got diabetes. I ain't got all that shit going. But people that are diabetic, people that got high blood pressure, all that shit going, y'all can't get this shit. But if they let people lower their mask at 70% vaccinations, you got to know that the restrictions on certain places and certain things, like restaurants are already not doing 50% occupancy. You can go by a restaurant. I know when a restaurant's full and not. I can look at the parking lot and tell whether a restaurant's full. And these restaurants be off the chain. They be off the chain. There's no way that there's 50% capacity in these places unless everybody drove themselves, which I know goddamn well that ain't true. And you're either going to do it or you're not. You're either going to be forced to or you'll run. But they need to stop with all the symbolism shit to try to get people to get the shot. The shot should speak for itself at this point, shouldn't it? I mean, shouldn't we know the shot as, hey, it will help you? You decide whether you want to be helped or not. Leave it at that. If you're going to promote that, promote that. Why do we need to give people $50 gas cards to drive people to vaccination clinics? We're giving out gas cards. We're giving out debit cards, Visa cards for $50 to get people to the vaccination clinic. We're paying people to drive people to be helped. And if it's not universal, if you can do it on the move like that, why aren't y'all just going to local neighborhoods and going to churches instead of having people have to be driven all around the city? All these black churches in Detroit. Hell, all the black churches in Ypsi. 27 black churches on the south side of Ypsi. 27. I wonder how many people in all 27 of those churches are vaccinated. I wonder. And then you're not only going to do, we're going to give you some money to go get somebody to get the shot. Now y'all doing like telethons and shit and meet and greets and shit. Come out and meet some former Detroit Piston legends. Let me tell you something. Earl Cureton has been great for the city of Detroit. I respect Brother Earl. Rick Mahorn has been down for the city of Detroit since he was a bad boy. You know, he got traded away. I respect Brother Rick. Did remotes with Brother Rick when I was in radio. We did some Art Van appearances and shit. It's a big motherfucker. I mean, and I'm not talking about he's gained weight over the years. We've all gained weight. I lost a little. I was bigger back then than I was now. And Rick used to make fun of me and shit about being big. And then he gained a lot of weight. He's lost some since then, but just as a man, without the girth, Rick Mahorn was a big motherfucker. And I've seen plenty of professional athletes, football players, basketball players, baseball players. But some people are just big men. He was just a big man. He was a big dude. Nice motherfucker, though. Always cracking jokes and shit. Hated to see him go through all that shit when he was going through financially and all. And they put all that shit out in the public. That's crazy shit. But you a celebrity, I guess, you know it goes with it. But that wasn't nobody's fucking business what him and his wife and his family was going through. Anyway. I don't get sentimental on much, but I get sentimental when I know that when they do stupid shit just because it's black folks. But they got Rick and Earl at a meet and greet for people to come out and get the shot. Now, the crazy thing is, the people who probably need to go to something like that is going to be older folk. So they going to remember Earl Cureton from Detroit, from the Pistons, from wherever. They going to remember Earl. They might even remember Rick from the bad boy years. But if you really want to draw people, if this is what y'all gonna do, where Joey D at? Where Isaiah at? Where Big Ben at? Where Chauncey at? You know, bring some more recent people in, because a lot of people don't remember Earl Cureton playing for the Pistons. And a lot of people don't even remember Rick playing for the Pistons. You know, we've won championships since then. And one kind of cancels the other after a while. But I don't like the symbolism of it all at all. I just don't like it.